Right, hello once again YouTube, Andy with you with another little video. Please like and subscribe if you find the content to your taste. If not, well, thanks for watching. Anyway, so in this video, it's a bit of a video diary, if you like, of what I've done on this particular day, the 9th of November 2022. So this afternoon, after my work, I took out Kovu for a walk. I tried to outrun the drone, and then I had a little talk about something which is looming quite large on my mind, and I just want to get it off my chest. So let's get into the video. Second job of the day, picking up 10 o'clock, Shrivenham, taking to a place in Bristol, not the airport, somewhere else. Yeah, so I was up earlier this morning at goodness me, just before 3 a.m. Okay, right, the time is almost 5 minutes past 3 in the morning. Yep, one of those silly early starts again, isn't it? I took down to the airport, Bristol, and then I went back to bed for a few hours. Just been out with a dog, and here I go again. This is my last job, so I hope to be finished by about midday or thereabouts, 1 o'clock. And if it stays like this, which it probably won't, I can get out and do a bit of walking, a bit of drone flying, and I've got a few things to say, because I don't know if you're like me, you're a bit concerned of what's kind of going on in the world at the moment. I think we could be on the edge of something pretty disastrous if the world doesn't get its act together. And I've got to be careful what I say, because you can quite easily be cancelled if you don't pull the party line, as it were, and I don't pull the party line. Freedom of speech is something which I hold very dear to myself. I think we all need to live in a country, in a world where we can say pretty much most things without perhaps being deplatformed or cancelled or something. So I've got to be a little bit careful what I say. So I'll choose my words carefully later in the video. I'll leave it there. Anyway, I've got some driving to do, and we'll just let the video carry on for now. Right, okay, so the time is about 2 o'clock in the afternoon. My location is a lovely wooded area called Nightingale Woods. It's just on the east side of Swindon, near the village of South Marston. It's about a 15-minute drive from where I live, and it's a really nice area to come along. You can take your dog out for a walk. You can get in the fresh air, good exercise, and a good place also to fly my drone. What I want to be doing in this video is to really test out the active track on the drone to see how good it is. So what I'm going to try and do, I'm going to try and lose it. I don't think it's going to be difficult, so I'll be kind of running away from it, then I'll be twisting and turning really to try and confuse it. A bit extreme, I know. You wouldn't normally kind of do this sort of thing, but I just want to see what the limits are, just kind of like in case I need to know what the limits are, pretty much. So we're out here in this wooded area, and there's lots of trees around. There are some open spaces, so I think it'll do okay in the open spaces. When you get to the more wooded areas, I think that's when it's really going to struggle. I just want to see what its limits are. So we'll get the drone set up. It doesn't take me that long now. I've got it down to a T, and I think the great bonus is having that new phone, which makes life so much easier regarding flying and setting up the drone. Right, first thing is first, we get the drone out, and we've got to turn it on. Now it's switched on, it's going to take a few minutes for the drone to acquire satellites. We've got 9 so far. 10, so when it goes to 11 then we can take off. And away we go. Now, there's several things which I want to try and figure out. When it's on kind of like the track me mode, I just want to know whether it actually needs this to be in my possession, whether it's actually tracking me, or whether we've got to be together, or can I put this down and then run away and see if it tracks me without it. Right, follow me mode. A bit more height maybe. Angle the gimbal down so that it sees me, and then it's got me now. Then we can go. Press go. Start filming. I'm going to put this down, and I just want to walk away to see if it actually follows me, and it is. Well, you followed me. Well done. Right, so that was quite an interesting little experiment I thought I'd do there, and I think it worked quite well. I think there was a point where I was running away from it. I was leaving it behind slightly, and I think if I was to maintain that kind of a speed for another maybe 30 seconds or so, then it might have lost me altogether. So I've got to be a bit mindful if I'm on a bike cycling away, because there could be a point where it just doesn't pick me up. Right, so that over and done with. I'm now going to take it into another test. I just want to walk into the trees. I just want to see whether it will follow me in. So let's see if it passes this one. I'm asking it to come in, and the active track is still on. Obstacle avoidance is turned off. And I was thinking perhaps it might run into a tree or something, but it didn't do that. It just basically stayed there. I don't know whether it was because it couldn't see me, it couldn't pick me out, because I was in the wearing dark clothing. I was in the trees, but it did pick me back up again, which I was quite surprised about. There we go. It's back online again now. It's now picked me up. It's tracking me. The gimbal is going down. It's going to be sort of swinging around, but it's not moving. The drone itself is just stationary, but it's just turning and the gimbal's moving. And I thought, right, it's found me now, because I could see it turning around from the ground, and it just kind of stayed there, and I'm not sure the reasons why. I'll exit out. Go. Right. It should be following me now. So it might struggle a little bit because of the trees which are coming up behind me.
Houston, we have a problem.
Okay. Right, I think the unit's stopped now.
This is Houston. Say again, please.
The unit's stopped now. I think it's going to go back home. It's going up, it's going higher and higher. I want it to come down. Right, this dang thing is out of control, and I haven't got a clue what's going on. It's doing something now. It's gone back to the home unit, home point, I think. And I'm hoping that it's going to start to lower. I think it's coming down. Yeah, okay, well that's kind of interesting, I suppose. At least I know what happens if your unit, you know, stops, the battery fails, or you run out of juice or something. So it's coming down. Well, a bit of a crash landing, but at least it's safe. That's the main thing. Yeah, that was interesting. That was something which I wasn't planning on happening. I thought I had plenty of charge in my RC unit. Obviously, I've used more power than I obviously thought I did. I do think the DJI lasts quite a lot longer than this one, but then again, I guess there's an awful lot going on with it. But yeah, interesting. Right, we're just coming up to towards the end of our little walk now. It just started to rain a little bit. I'm going to put Doggy in the car and have a cup of coffee and a biscuit. And perhaps then we can have a little talk about something. Right, this is the struggly bit. I can try and get him in. Right, I've got to bribe him now. Biscuit. There you go then. There you go, works a treat every time. Okay. Right, time for a coffee, a biscuit, and let's put the wheel to rights, shall we? Ah, right. Right, in my little rucksack here, I should have a packet of biscuits, which he's going to be very interested in, and a flask of coffee. I've come prepared. Ooh. Right. So, I think it's always good to try and, let's say, speak your mind as and when you can, and YouTube being what it was, it used to be able to, YouTube being what it is, and social media in general, I'm making a right mess of my coffee here. Yeah, YouTube what it is now, and social media in general is not really a place where you can talk freely anymore, because cancel culture, the woke society, and one thing or another, you've got to be very careful what you say. So I'm going to choose my words very wisely. Now, I've kind of come off of Facebook. I deactivated my account. It just got too much, really. I was spending far too much time on Facebook trying to get across my belief in what's going on, and people just weren't buying into it, which is fine, you know, which is fine. I'm not going to go after people and start calling them names and stuff like that, like I've been called names, and then just enough's enough, really. What do you want? As if I didn't know. Go on. Yeah, so I deactivated my YouTube account, my Facebook account. YouTube might be next. You know, instead of the West, NATO and America sending, especially America, sending bombs, bullets and the latest technology, let's say, to Ukraine, what they ought to be doing is sending peace envoys to try and sort this mess out. Because at the moment, I mean, nobody's going to be backing down. If you take this to its absolute limits, it ends in a mushroom cloud. There's no winners, absolutely no winners at all. So you got to ask the question. Sorry about the dog. He's puffing like a train at the moment. You got to ask the question: why did Putin invade Ukraine? Now, I'm not a fan of Putin. I'm not a fan of Zelensky. I'm not a fan of NATO. I'm not a fan of the West. I think they're all as bad as one another. What I am a fan of, I am a fan of peace. All right. It seems such a long way away at the moment. Now, the reasons why, as far as I understand, the reason why Putin went into Ukraine was for several reasons. Two reasons. One reason was because of the persecution of the Russian-speaking Ukrainians in the Donbass, in the eastern side of Ukraine. That's one reason. The other reason was to stop NATO from building a nuclear installation in Ukraine. Okay. They've had that earmarked for a while now, and also they want to go into Georgia, to the south of Russia. Now, if we cast our mind back to the early 1990s and the dismantling of the Warsaw Pact, so you've got countries like Albania, the Czech Republic, perhaps Yugoslavia, Hungary, Poland, Romania, Bulgaria. These countries which are on the eastern side of Europe, which are right next to Russia. When Russia pulled out of them, they left a void. That was the old Warsaw Pact countries, which basically came up against NATO. NATO was formed after the Second World War. Then not long after that was formed the Warsaw Pact. So the Warsaw Pact was then dismantled. Russia was then then went back into itself, back towards Moscow. So leaving a void. Now there was an agreement between Russia and NATO and the West that NATO would not go into these old countries to put nuclear installations to point their weapons into Russia. But this is exactly what they've done. It's ramped up from the early 1990s. Okay. And now they want to keep going. The next one was Ukraine. Then after that it was Georgia. That's the reason why Putin's gone into Ukraine. He doesn't want this to happen. He's told them in a kind way, NATO, please take your nuclear weapons out of these old countries. Please adhere to the agreement which we signed back in the 1990s. This whole war, if you like, could be ended within a month or within a few weeks, just by NATO simply adhering to the rules set out back in the 1990s. But they're not going to. But could you imagine, just for a moment, that Russia were to surround the United States of America with nuclear installations, having these nuclear weapons, missiles, pointed at every single city of mass population in America? America would go absolutely, they would go mad. They would not put up with it for a moment. And then they got wind that Russia was going to put another nuclear installation, let's say in Haiti or Bermuda. You can bet the next week America would invade Haiti or Bermuda to stop Russia from putting an installation in those places, which is exactly what Putin's done regarding Ukraine. So yeah, I'm not a fan of Putin. I do not condone what they're doing. I think to invade any sovereign nation is awful. It's exactly what America basically did years ago. They basically took parts of Mexico by force. You've got California, you've got Texas, you've got New Mexico and other places, and maybe Nevada. Just took them off of them. And that's just Mexico. What about Hawaii? What they did to the Hawaiians as well was just as bad. That was all about getting sugar tax-free pretty much, and then through very clever businessmen manipulating the locals who were very naive at the time in Hawaii, they basically signed over Hawaii to the Americans. And then America was established way back when what happened to the native Indians, the Native Americans pretty much wiped them out. So, I mean, talk about Putin going into Ukraine, what a bad thing that is. What about what we've done in the United Kingdom, in England, what we've done over the world, what America have done as well. It's hypocrisy of the highest order. But I've got to be careful what I say, because there are the YouTube police out there, and I don't really want to talk too much about this. But I'm just airing my thoughts. You might have thoughts yourself about this subject. I'm just airing mine. I think it's good to talk about these things. but you might have a different opinion. If you've got a different opinion than me, that's perfectly fine, that's not a problem. But I don't just go back, you know, the past 8 or months or a year or something. I want to go back further than that, from when the first kind of stone was thrown, and it was thrown by NATO in the West, when they basically reneged on the agreement they had with the Russians, that they would not go into the old Warsaw Pact countries and put nuclear installations, military bases there. That's exactly what they've done, and Russia have said, please don't do this, and all NATO have done is just carried on, and they've accelerated their plan. Right, okay, I think I'll leave it there for now. I don't think I said anything untoward which would get me struck off or any kind of a strike on my video. I hope not, but you just never know these days. YouTube and social media is a very strange place. But this is just my opinion. Perhaps your opinion differs completely on Russia. If that's the case, then you can always comment and let me know down below. But simply by reading history and what I was taught in school some years ago now, this is basically what we learnt. And I would just say to people, just beware what you read, especially in the tabloids, and what you read or listen to regarding your news. I do believe that news has been filtered. I do believe that it is biased, and there's a lot of anti-Russian feeling at the moment in the West. And I would just say to people, there are two sides to every story. Always dig into history and understand what is going on, because that's where the truth is, in history. And there are things as uncomfortable truths. Anyway, I'll leave it there. I just want to say thanks for watching. Take care. Please like and subscribe if you like this kind of thing. And as always, I'll see you on the next one. Bye for now.